fine. Start with scratch, okay? Okay, so basically RPA. So, just going with the definition of RPA, just scroll down to the next slide. Okay, so what is the RPA? So basically, we all know that, if we go to any manufacturing industry, any manufacturing plant, we see all machines are working, right? So they are producing, means right from, say for example, if you're going to any, chips industry, I mean chips manufacturing industry, you will see right from selecting ingredients to, processing it and then packing it and then sending the entire output or the entire packet out, keeping it in a box, packing it and directly sealing it and directly sending it to the customers. So the entire manufacturing industry is done by machines, and we are just, kind of means giving them the input and taking the output and then giving it to the customers like that, right? So in IT industry, how robots or how these bots help us? So in simple terms, we can say that, a robot or a bot is nothing but a piece of a software, okay, which mimics the actions of a human. Okay, okay, guys, you can go on mute if you're not speaking anything. It's echoing, that's why I'm just saying. You can go on mute, okay? Okay. Yeah, what is RPA? So, a bots or a robot is nothing but a software piece of code which is developed by humans only, and it itself mimics the actions of a human. Okay. So, you can see a full-fledged definition here in the screen that RPA, or the software which we create, the application or a bot, okay, that allows the company or organizations, okay, to automate the processes, okay, all the processes, business level processes, which are organized by humans, okay. So all the business level, high end infrastructure, complex infrastructures, and everything can be automated, okay. The next screen comes here. It says that who is willing to learn RPA. So anyone who is also like, say for example, Shubha, right? Yeah, Shubha already has a knowledge of Blue Prism. So it's better to get a knowledge of automation anywhere also. Anyone who is currently having knowledge of RPA, existing any tool of RPA, or anyone who is not having knowledge of RPA, but yeah, who is a developer or any kind has a knowledge of IT background, or also like those who are involved with business process application, like those who don't have any knowledge of IT background, but yes, they have knowledge of business process, and they want to know like in their business process what can be automated, what cannot be. For them also is beneficial because if they are managers, then they can take a high level decision whether it will benefit us or not if we implement RPA. So for them also this course is very much beneficial. Okay, any existing testing engineers or testers, even they can learn RPA. Okay, testers in I will tell you testers why, also developers. So it's good if they are having knowledge of IT, they can easily learn RPA. Testers, because I will tell you in how in software industry we develop and then we provide our developed applications to testers, right? They test it, then the QA gives sign off, and then it goes to UAT phase. Same way here also in robots, when we develop all the bots, then we give it to the QA to perform a quality test, and then when QA team signs off, okay, then it goes further stages. So that is why even testers can learn automation anyway. Okay. There are none prerequisites, like no high end coding background is required. All the RPA tools are very GUI based. Okay. There are many tools in the market, and all those tools are very much GUI based, user friendly based. So it's very much easy that anyone can, opt for RPA, can learn RPA, can easily make their career in RPA. Okay. So course curriculum, what we will be covering in our this section in our this course. Okay. So automation anywhere will be covering. Okay. And we can see like when we learn all the commands, like, see, you can see here, when we learn all these commands, okay, how we can make the use of these commands in our day-to-day activities. Like we all know that we work with Excel a lot. be it a developer, be it a manager, or be it anyone even who is a fresher, he has to work with Excel. He has to maintain something in that Excel, be it any data or any kind of any information for his or own purpose as well. So at that time also, RPA helps a lot. Means even if you are, say for the end of the day, a simple developer or anyone who's working in the IT industry has to maintain a log anyway, right? He has what he has done, or any of the information which is related to business process purposes. So even that can be automated using RPA. Okay? So automation anywhere, okay, has two components, two major components with which we will be, working with mainly into. It's a client, okay, and a control room is a server. Okay, so just imagine control room as a server, and client, a client is a kind of means a tool, automation anyway, client environment, in which it has a task editor. Okay, task editor, wherein we can actually develop all the bots or all the tasks, all the pieces of activities in a form of a task, and then those software or a task or a piece of bot, which we can say, can be uploaded to a server, that is client control room. Okay, via client control room we upload it to a server. Okay, so control room and server both are meaning is kind of same only. So it's just imagine that your control room is a one server, and there are multiple clients which are connected to the client control room, client control room in full terms what we say. Okay, so these two components will be covering. Okay, there in client we have the task editor. So under task editor there are many commands which we'll be using. I'll just scroll down to give a just quick view of all these commands which we'll be covering in this course, automation anyway course. Okay, right from beginners command, like very easy commands, to high end commands, like these are like high-end commands like error handling, image recognition, OCR, optical character recognition. So all these commands we'll be covering in on this automation anywhere course. Okay. We also have very interesting system commands over here. Okay. Like if you want to shut down or restart your computer, so we can use system commands. Then basic commands are also there, like insert a keystrokes. Okay, Windows actions are there if you want to maximize, minimize, or close a window. Then these Windows actions are there. Then for day-to-day purpose, we can use this open program files. Okay. Then we can also use certain means in a task. Okay, if you want to implement a delay. Okay, even that can be done using delay commands. Okay, and if you are recording any task, okay, there's a record button over here. There are three types of recorder in automation anyway. Okay, one is screen recorder, one is web recorder, and one is smart recorder. So a web recorder is for the if you want to automate applications which are using web applications, then we go for web recorder. Okay, like say for default, what we say, like in a flow purpose, like my first choice would be web for automating web application. It would be web recorder. Then I will go for screen recorder. Okay. So screen recorder is very useful recorder in automation anyway, because this recorder captures the property, okay, or object's property. It captures the property of a object. So in simple terms, say for example, if you want to automate a web application, okay, and if you say for example, there's a command button on a web page, okay, and you are using web recorder also, and if it's not working, then you can go for smart recorder. But how smart recorder will work? So if you are capturing that object, okay, you are just capturing the object's property. You are not just capturing the location of the object. You are just capturing the object of the property. Okay. So tomorrow, if there's a changes in the website, and your bot will now will check the object's property. So be it wherever it is located on that web page, it will automatically click or fetch that only object and will go further, means process the entire activity. Okay. So when I talk about screen recorder, so screen recorder, it comes as a change, location change, like there would be mouse click or insert keystrokes commands and everything. The screen recorder screen recorder is very not what we can say is not foolproof enough to develop all the high-end applications. A smart recorder uh, converts the code. I mean, it saves the code as object cloning only. So that is very good, and we always, use object recorder only or smart recorder only to develop our entire bots in automation anyway. So as I've said, the lay or flow out will be, if you want to automate a web application, always go for web recorder first. Okay. If not web recorder, then go for smart recorder. Okay. Both are same. Both will give you same only, and it will always means give you foolproof. So your bot will not fail or stuck at one point. Suppose if there are any changes in the environment or changes in the input screen, that is web screen, then your bot will not fail due to those changes. Okay. That's why always go for smart recorder or web recorder if you want to automate web applications. And if you want to automate Windows application, you can go for smart recorder. Okay. Okay. So these are commands. Okay, which I've just shown you what we'll be covering in our automation anyway course. Okay, advanced level and basic level commands. Okay, and in the control room we'll be covering all these features. Okay. So we can see repository manager. Okay, a repository manager is nothing but it's a folder hierarchy structure, okay, wherein you can see all your tasks saved. Okay, same hierarchy is maintained in your client environment. So when I say I want to upload my code from client to server, then I use repository manager at that time. I connect to repository manager from my client environment and connect it to the control room and upload my codes over client control room. Okay, so that is a repository manager. Of course, we'll be covering that in deep. I'm just going through it as of now, just the basic definition of all these features here in control room. We'll be covering that in a course content deeply later. Okay, so we have operations room over here. So operations room help us if we want to see the task which are ongoing, tasks which are being executed or which are being implemented in the production or UAT or any environment. So from that we can see in the operations room from client control room. Okay. So user management. So we can register all the users from the user management tab. Okay. And then we jump to security. Okay, I will tell you what security is. In security console, we define the roles of those users. Okay, so here we are defining the user, and here we are defining the role. So always we need to go to security first, define the roles, and then we can create a user. And by default, we can select the roles which are already created in security. Okay, so automation anyway by default has bot creator and bot runner. Okay, means basic admin and basic, these two roles are there, but yeah, we can create bot creator and bot runner licenses or the roles. Okay, generally we can give bot creator role a license to a person who is a developer. Okay, and bot runner licenses can be given to those who are, who are having who just wants to run the bots. No need of development rights needs to be given to them. Those who just wants to run the bot, like say for example production support guys or any managers, like say for example, so we can give them the runner licenses, runner role. We can create the runner role over here, and then we can assign those roles in user management console. Okay. Task schedules. So basically, task schedules is like we know that we create all the means activity in a form of a task. So when we upload our task from client to server, we need to set the schedule of a task. Okay, so in a single machine, okay, independent machine, I can create my own task in task editor and I can directly run it. But if I want to run my task in 100 machines, okay, so how I can do it, I can upload it to the server, and then from server I can select the list of machines over there, and then I can directly run it, and okay. And if I want to set a schedule over there, so I can just select the task in that control room, okay, and schedule the task, okay, from control room as well. So so when I say schedule, so there are two options given, run and schedule. So when I upload my task from client to client control room, either I can directly run it at one instance and I can schedule it for a later purpose, okay, later time. Okay, so that I can do from task schedules. Okay, Client's registration. So this tab is given over here for registrations of client. Okay. And dashboard and reporting. So this is kind of a automation anywhere console which gives a bird's eye view of all the uh, count of all the tasks or count of all the means because in automation anyway we will be having our task bots, meta bots, IQ bots. Then we can see the files in the folders, like just a bird's eye view of all the information. It's just for view purpose. We cannot edit anything. If you want to edit, then accordingly we can make changes in the client control rooms, other tabs, and same will get reflected over here in dashboard and reporting console. Okay. Okay, great. So moving on, I will directly begin with the course. Okay. So just confirm me whether you are able to see my screen. I am having a VMware of Windows 7. Okay, just confirm me. I hope my screen is visible. It's a VMware Windows 7 and I'm opening Automation Anywhere software. So the booting time of the software is, is very late actually. It takes approx 1 minute to open the Automation Anywhere software. Okay. So just confirm whether you are able to see Automation Anywhere on my screen. Okay, great. Um, okay. So you can see this console. So this is older version actually. I don't have the latest one in my laptop because my own laptop. I have not connected to my work desktop, so that is why it's older version. So I can go you through the latest version, but all the commands which you'll be learning can be covered in both, which are present in both, means older as well as new. Okay, but we'll be learning the new one only. The latest version in the market is 10.3.5. Okay, or 10.5, more or less both are same. We say 10.3.5 because the client control room version is 10.3. That is why we say 10.3.5. Okay, so you can see the console over here. Okay, so it's very it means simple. Okay, it's not very congested enough. Okay, left hand side we can see our task. We can see the hierarchy folder. Okay, so in automation anyway, folder hierarchy task. Right now I have clicked on tasks. Okay, there are repository, reports, triggers, schedules, workflow. So as of now task is created. If I want to navigate it to triggers, click on triggers. So I can see a trigger window opening. For repository, I need to connect it to a repository. As I've told you, we for repository we need to connect it to client control room. So here I can input my server address, okay, username and password. So I will tell you what is this basically. So whenever right now in 10.3 in 10.3 version, control rooms are now URL, means it uses localhost server based. Okay, so here it takes a local host and then it creates your client control room accordingly. Okay, so at that time you need to whenever you're installing your control room, so it is mandatory to install control room first. Okay, then your client, because in control room you are creating the username and password. You're setting the means you are creating that your server, your local user host through which you will be accessing. I mean, it's a web based, so through which you will be accessing your control room. So you need to set your username and password, and then after set you can connect it via this console. Okay, you can click on repository, then you need to enter your server details over here, your username and password, and you can create on login. Okay, so right now you can see my status is offline because I am not connected it to a client control room. Okay, so when I input my username and password, automatically my status will become here as offline. So it is mandatory to become online when you want to upload your tasks. Okay, from your client to client control room. As of now, it's okay to keep offline because I'm just developing, or I'm just going through this software. That is why. So whenever I will work with the control room, whenever I want to upload my task in client control room, I need to be online and connect to control room and upload my tasks over there. Okay. So now we come here in task. We can see see uh, four folders are here. Okay. My task, my scripts, my exes, my docs. Okay. So when I click on my task, I can see a sample task subfolder over here under this my task folder. And when I click on this sample task, I can see all these files are present in this folder. Okay. Similarly, when I click on my scripts folder, a sample script subfolder exists. When I click on sample script subfolder, I can see all these scripts files up there in this sample script folder subfolder. Okay. So same way in my exes, right now there is nothing. Okay. So if I create anything and all kind of exes files can be stored over here. Okay. And my docs, so all kind of supporting docs can be stored over here. So whenever you're creating any task, we know that uh, if we are working with any Excel file or Word file, so we cannot save those file over here, right? We are using any input files, right, to give anything input. So for if we are using Excel file, so you cannot store Excel file over here. So for that purpose, in my docs, you need to save your Excel file over here. Okay. And suppose if your if your task is having scripts folder, then scripts folder needs to be saved over here. Okay. My task will in under my task, all the subfolder should only uh, should only have the task folder. The extension of a task folder is .atmx files. Okay. So whenever you create a task and save the task, the extension uh, gets saved as .atmx. So these are all. So how you will identify a task file? So this is a task file which is saved with the extension .atmx. Okay. This is how you can recognize a task file. If you want to see metabot file, extension is .mbot. You can note all these, points, pointers. Metabots file, we save it as .mbot. Uh, Automation Anywhere also have IQ bot, okay, intelligent bots. So those files are saved as .ibot, dot .ibot or .iqbot. That I need to check because generally my project doesn't has IQbot licenses, so we have never worked with IQ bots. But yes, all the features and everything we have the knowledge what is there in the IQ bot. Okay. So .atmx file goes for task bots, .mbot for metabots, and .iqbots for IQbots. Okay. Automation Anyway can use only two types of script files. That is, one is VB scripts and one is J scripts. Okay. Automation Anyway supports only two type of script files. One is VB scripts and one is J scripts. VB scripts with extension .vbs and J scripts with extension .so exes will contain all the exes file. So exes are nothing but we create a task over here, right? So a task has the Automation Anywhere has given a task unique feature of creating a task file into exes. So we can convert this task file into exes. Okay. So whenever we convert this task file, suppose I'm converting this download file as exe format. So that exe format will get saved over here in my exe folder. Okay. And your doc files will contain all the supporting documents, all txt files, all excel file, all word document file, all kind of documents. If you want to save any kind of key files, like you will be using key file, right? So if you are using any means kind of securing any file, any key files or anything, like certificates file, right? Any of your application may be using any certificates, so all those certificate file, key files, or any kind of code files or anything can be saved over here, be it any extension, right? Dot wpk, or dot pkfx, or any kind of files with any extension can be stored in my docs. Okay. Okay, I will move on. Then here I've already shown you the repository. This is how it looks like. Okay. we need to insert our username and password and then click on login. So it will automatically connect to your client computer and this access here will become as online. Okay. So two important feature, okay, schedule and trigger. We can access schedule and trigger from here in the folder, means kind of hierarchy folder in the left tab over here. Schedules and trigger. Same way, we can access schedule and trigger from here as well. Okay. So I will just browse my mouse over here in sample task. Okay. I will select a task file. Okay. And then I can click on schedule. Okay. So for a task, I can set a schedule from here. Okay. And all these options are present under schedule. And for a task file, I can set a trigger from here. Okay. And all these options are given. I will browse you now one by one, all these trigger and schedule points. Okay. I'll just show you like how we can browse it, how we can use schedule and trigger. Either we can select a task and then we can set it directly. It's schedule and trigger from here. Okay. And if you want to uh, schedule or trigger from here, so this is how you will get a console. Okay. When you click schedule from the left bar side, left hand box, when you click on schedule, this is how you can see a calendar format comes over here. Okay, you can see date, week and month. Okay, and accordingly from here I can easily set it. So the only use you can, I will tell you the difference between when I click on schedule from here, okay, and when I click a schedule from here. So here so if I'm selecting schedule from here, setting a schedule from here, it's like at one time I can select only one task. Okay, just select any task and then I can set its schedule over here. And when I click schedule from here, I can add. I need to add task from here. It would be one time only, but it's just that kind of more information is displayed over here rather than that clicking on task and you know selecting that options from the drop down. More information is displayed over here. Okay, accordingly I can select the task and create its schedule. Okay, so I'm selecting the sample file over this task file over here. Then I can set my schedule. Say for example, I'm setting it to daily. I want this task to run daily. Start time as 8:10. Every day I want my task to run at 8:10. Start date. So I can also kind of set a start date when I want to run my task daily at 8:10 p.m. from, suppose say today is like, can set it on 28 December. Say I want to run my task every day at 8 a.m., 8:10 a.m. From, and it should start from 28 December. Okay, so I can save my schedule. It is mandatory to provide your Windows credential, not software credential, to save the file. Okay, and it says that your task has been scheduled successfully. Okay, so this is how you can see. So on 28th of December, I have successfully scheduled my sample task to run at 8:10 a.m. Okay, so this is how user friendly it is. It's entirely GUI based. You're not coding anything. You are just kind of using a GUI console, setting over the dates over here, and automatically you can see your task right now has been scheduled at 8:10 a.m. Okay, you can see the details over here as well. Okay, I'm just closing this schedule manager. Same way you can say go for weekly or monthly basis also, you can see it over here. Okay. Similarly, I have shown you using schedule manager. Same you can do it. We can select a task from here directly and set a schedule from here. Okay, daily, weekly, monthly, one time only when my computer starts or when I log in. So basically, schedule manager is used to set a schedule. Okay, for a task files. Okay, so we can either select set a schedule from here, or we can if you want, we can set a schedule from here directly. There are two GUI based consoles through which you can set a schedule. So whenever we set a schedule, so here you can see in client you're setting a schedule, right? So whenever you want to set a schedule for multiple machines, okay, as I have said that we create a task, we need to run these tasks in multiple machines, okay, which are registered, multiple client machines which are registered in server. So at that time we need to upload this task in client control room, okay. When we go to our client control room, we can select all the client machines in which we want to run the task file, okay, select it, and then we can click on schedule options. From there we can set a schedule, okay. It's same way. Like here, in our this single independent machine, when we click on schedule, I can run it over here. But if I want to run in those entire 100 machines, I can upload it to client control room, and there also when you click on schedule, same console appears, okay. You can select the date, time, any of the options accordingly. You can select. It's very user friendly. You can, whenever you're doing practical yourself, you can, means kind of check like it's working or not. So you can do a simple instance. Suppose if means if you want to set a alarm in your laptop, or you can, if you want to like save any files, so log files or anything, you can set those task file, like open a Excel daily, log anything into that Excel file with your date and time, and accordingly save the file and close it. So even that you can do it, and every day you can run that file. So you can do it when you do practically automation anywhere in your system. Okay. So a schedule, we can do it from schedule manager. Okay. Any doubts for schedule manager? I've shown you one sample schedule how we can do it. Okay, so I've just shown you at 8:10 a.m. This is a sample, this task file sample notepad will run at 8:10 a.m. For view purpose, you can go to week. From here, you can see that how it shows. Means every day, 8:10 p.m. this task will run. And if you see month wise, this is how it shows you this entire December month. Okay. Accordingly, if I want, I can at any time go to schedule manager and accordingly edit my schedule for those task files. Okay. So system options also given. Accordingly, you can see I can set I can schedule my task when my computer starts. Okay. Then I can add my task over here. So I can do it same way. I need to select any task files. Say suppose I'm selecting sample. Okay. When my computer starts. Okay. As of now, I'm saving this task file, setting the schedule as when my computer starts. Okay. Same way, I need to give my Windows credentials, not a software credentials, Windows credentials. Okay. Click on save. Okay. My task has been successfully saved. Okay. File name, type, run at system startup, and the status, this task has not run. So when I run my task, this task, automatically the status will get changed over here. Okay. At any instance, I can select, I can edit the properties of this task. Suppose say, now I want my task to run when I log on. Click on save. Always you need to give your Windows credentials. So this is important. Suppose if you don't have Windows credentials, so it will ask you to set your Windows credential first, and then you can save your task schedules. Okay. So right now I have selected when my computer starts. So when I click on when I log in, so it's better to select all options. So here you can see all the list of all the system schedules will be given. Okay. So right now I have edited that task. First it was when my computer starts. Now I have selected when I log in. So that's why only one schedule has been set, and it is being showing over here in the system console of schedule manager. Okay. So this is using date and time in calendar format, you can see, and this is the system based schedule manager. You can see all those details over here. Okay. So either ways, for system based, you can go for select the task, and same way you can select it over here from when my computer or when my computer starts. So all these are present. And another way, you can just click on schedule over here, and these appears. Okay. all are same, more or less everything is same, entirely GUI based. Okay, so whatever is convenient to you, you can select it. So that is why RPA automation anyway is very user friendly. So one thing, you can do it in a multiple ways. Okay, whichever you think is easy and means suitable enough, or user friendly enough, environment based, quick enough, you can do it. Each and everything, if you want to do it, there are two or the multiple ways are given over here. Like schedule, you can do it from here. Schedule, you can do it from here. Okay. Any doubts in schedule manager? We'll now move on to trigger management. If you have any doubts for schedule manager, please let me know. I can explain once again. Okay.
No.
Okay. Then we'll move on to the trigger manager. Okay. So what is trigger manager? So if you're from IT background, you may be knowing that we create a trigger. So triggers are, event based. And say for example, I will just tell you, if there's any event occurring, okay. Say for example, you are creating a new file. Every day you are creating a new file, and you want your task to run whenever any new file is created. Okay. So at that time, I can use the file options under trigger. So when I click on trigger, you can see, sorry, it's a schedule. So when I click on trigger, you can see with all these items, like say for window, file, folder, performance, process, service, and email message, we can create a trigger point, okay, for my task to run. So as I've mentioned file, so when I click on this file, say, I need to specify the file name. Let me go to desktop, say, I have a file, one CSV file. Yeah. Okay. So this is the file. I'll select the file, and then I need to specify the action over here. So for things I can do, I can click on when this file is created. Okay. So when this file is deleted, when this file is renamed, and when this file is modified. So suppose if I'm doing anything with this file, okay, at that time my task will run. Okay. I'll just show you. I will go to, okay, I don't have anything over here. I can do one thing. I can create a folder. I just, okay, what I can do is, if I want to create any folder, just select the parent folder. Okay, so this is a subtask folder under my task. Select the parent folder, right click, and create new folder. So let's say I am creating demo task sample subfolder. Click on OK. You can see a demo task folder has been created. Okay. So now I want to create a task. So you can create a task by either clicking on new, okay, or you can directly record a task. Okay. So as of now, just let's go with this option new. So when I click on new, I can select task editor. So it will move me to a task editor console, wherein I can work with those commands and save the task file. Okay. All these options will be covering, I mean, in 2 to 3 days, but let's, for demo purpose, as of now, I can show you. I'll directly click on this task editor. So now go to task editor console. Okay. And a simple message box, let me see here. Maximize the screen. Left hand side, you can see a command. All these commands, sub commands, will do it in later sections. So just let me show you how we can do it. So this is a message box command. Just drag and drop this message box command over here in this console. Okay, and let me type in hello world. Okay, and save it. This message box has timeout property as well. Suppose if you want to display this message for 5 seconds, I can click on here. Accordingly, if I want it for 8 seconds or 9 seconds, anything, like any random figures you can give as per. Okay. As of now, let me set it to default. It's better to set it at default, and click on save. So my this task just has one line of code with message box hello world, which will miss this when I run it. So for 5 seconds, this box will be displayed to user. We'll save this file with say message, any naming you can give. Message, suppose a message task. So when I click on save, I can directly click on save, or I can press Control S. Okay, this GUI box will come over here. I need to insert my file name. In licensed version, you can also password protect your own task. Okay, this is available only licensed version. And when you click on this, automatically this text box will get enabled. And here you can set your password. You can also create a shortcut on desktop. So I'll check this one. You can see later whether shortcut is created on or not in the desktop. Okay, and save it. So whenever this file is saved, you can see the save button gets disabled. If I'm making any changes, automatically it will get enabled. So when you save it, automatically this gets disabled. Okay. So now I can run my task. Okay. So we'll browse back again here, navigate to this console. So now my this task is created. Okay. So now let's say for example, I want my task to run when this file is deleted. Okay. I will select the task. I'll go to file, select that file which I had selected earlier. It was present on desktop. This CSV file, click on open. So this location gets saved over here. And in action, we select when this file is deleted. Okay. So when my this file which is present on the desktop, log files, day, month, year, in CSV format, the CSV file gets deleted, I will run this task. I'm gonna click on save. Okay. So now this shortcut has been created. So whenever this file will be deleted, my this task will run. Okay. So now I will just show you how we do it. Okay. I have browsed to desktop. So now I will delete this file. Automatically my that message box task will run. So now when I delete it, what you will see is, okay, a runtime window will appear over here wherein I am scrolling my mouse. I am doing mouse over. A runtime window will come over here, a right hand side bottom. Okay. Uh, in runtime you will be seeing the progress bar. Okay, progress bar means it will show you the progress of the task. Okay, and it will then show you the uh, line number and action. So what is line number? So line number will be in a task file. There are multiple lines of command, right, from 1 to 10, suppose say, and it is at which line number. It is at first, second, third, fourth. So it will show you, suppose it's at 3 line number, then it will show you 3 of 10 or 3 of 15. Okay, so line number will be shown an action. So in that line, what action you are specifying. So now when I delete this file, a runtime window will appear with the line as a 1 of 1, and action would be message box. Okay, so now let me delete this file and show you. Okay, so I'm deleting this file. Just wait for 1 minute. Your task will run right now. Okay, see, a runtime window has appeared. Line is 1 by 1, action is message box, and this window will now close in 5 seconds. Okay, and when the task closes, even the runtime window disappears. Runtime window box disappears. Okay, and you can see while saving this file, I had clicked on shortcut, create shortcut on my desktop. Okay, so automatically shortcut to the task file has been saved on my desktop. Okay, so this is how we can make use of the trigger property to a task file. Similarly, uh, you can create your trigger from here as well. Okay, same way like schedule. We can set the schedule directly from here for a specific schedule, but for uh, for view purpose also, like for main same purpose, if you want to set it, you can set it from here also. It's for view purpose. Similarly, trigger also we can do it. We can click on trigger from here. You can see the list of all the trigger files created. As of now, I've just created one trigger. Okay, We can edit and delete trigger at any point of time. Suppose I want to click on edit, select it and click on edit, or just double click it. No need of even going to edit button over here. Just double click it and that box will come. At any point of time, I can modify the trigger properties of a task file. Okay. So suppose say I want to run this file whenever any window closes. Okay, suppose say right now window title. So I just have two windows over here, start and download. Suppose if I you know open open a notepad, say, okay. So now this notepad window is open. Yes, you click on refresh because I've just opened a notepad. Now you will see a notepad option getting appearing in this list. Okay. So same way if you are working with multiple applications and if you see that those applications are not reflecting under Windows drop down, you just need to click on refresh. Okay. So here you can see those applications name appearing over here in this drop down list. Okay. So say notepad. So whenever this window closes, I can run this task. Okay, same way. I can set it, this is to save, and now you can see the trigger type has been changed from file to window. Okay, and action is when this notepad window closes, my task will run. Okay, I'm not executing this task once again because I've just shown you with that file. Okay, so if we delete it, same way, we can run that task file. So at once I will show you what all trigger are present. Okay, with yeah, sorry. Yeah. Under trigger management, under window, you can see there are two options. Either window opens or either window close. At that time, I can, I can make my task run. So these are two trigger points for the window actions. Okay. For file created, file deleted, file renamed, file modified. Okay. Four actions we can perform. Okay. Suppose in this file created, deleted, renamed, modified. Four actions we can perform with a file instance. Okay. For folder, same folder created, deleted, deleted, yeah, renamed, and any file inside that, sorry. Yeah, any folder created, deleted, renamed, modified, and any file which is created in that folder, any file which is deleted in that folder, and any file which is renamed in that folder, we can save it accordingly. Okay. So this is a folder instance, folder trigger property of a task. Performance. Uh, Performance is useful when we want to create any notification task, notification alert or notification task. So at that time we can use this performance trigger type. So under performance there are three: CPU usage, free disk space, and process count. Okay, suppose say I select CPU usage, I want to generate a alert mechanism wherein I select it to performance, select the category as CPU usage. Action can be above or below. Suppose say my CPU usage is above or CPU usage is below, or say for example above, I can specify the value over here, suppose say 50%. Okay, as an example, save it. So my this task file will run whenever my CPU usage is above 50%. Okay, same way with free disk space. Suppose if my disk space is free disk space is uh, below 100, suppose, and I need to specify the disk. Right now I just have C, that is what is showing C. So if you have multiple disks, so automatically your drop down options will change over here. Okay, you need to specify your disk and create on save. So now my this task file will run. Okay, whenever my disk space is below in C drive below 100%, at that time my this task will run. Okay, so alert mechanism you can set in. Your this task file can contain a email notification, okay, email command or email notification, wherein it will whenever this task will run, it will automatically email your this message, email your message to anyone notifying that your the C has low disk space. You can accordingly take actions further. Okay. So alert mechanism can be set using this trigger property performance. Okay, three types: CPU usage, free disk space, and process count. And third class is process. So whenever any process starts or stops, okay, at that time we can create a, I mean, we can set a trigger. Whenever any process starts and stop, you need to select your process from here. This is by default, it will show the list of all the processes in your machine, okay, in your client machine. Suppose say whenever this starts, okay, I need to run my task file. You can create your own process over here, okay. You can create your own process. I have not tried, but I can see here this is all system based exe files is given. You can just try whether you can see whether you can create your own exe file and see it in this drop down or not. Okay, so all these right now is a system based applications exe files you can see. Okay, I have not created any exe file of mine. So you can, when you do practically, you can see you can create your own exe file, only exe file if you have it in your machine already, and check it whether it's getting displayed over here or not. Any application which you built in, suppose say you've built in any VB applications, .NET applications, and create a exe file and see whether that exe file is getting reflected over here or not. It should reflect basically. It should reflect. It will reflect, I think, but still for for practical purpose, you can see whether you have that exe file and whether it's getting reflected or not in this process drop down, and accordingly you can see whether the process, and accordingly you can set process start and process stops. Suppose say when this process starts, I can save it. So whenever I click on save, you can see this changes. Okay, details are changes. Okay, for this task file, this is a trigger point set. Okay, I can also add and delete it from here. Okay, and same way I can do it from trigger. Just click on trigger and you can see this list. I can add, edit, delete. Okay, it's user friendly as I've said. Okay, this trigger manager can gives you one more property, that is enable and disable. Okay, so if I want to like see, suppose 10 trigger files are there and I uncheck it, so right now I am disabling this trigger. Okay, so right now this is disabled. Okay, so see, you can see that is disabled, so automatically that checkbox is right now not shown over here. So it's more or less same. So when you check it, automatically this is enabled. Let me go to trigger point. So now this should be enabled over here. So I can disable it from, enable, disable it from here as well. I can do it from here as well. Okay. All the, more or less everything is same. There is no change over there. Okay. So process, then comes the service. Under service, you can select all the services which is present in my client machine. Okay. And actions. Whenever any service starts, stops, pause, or resumes. Okay. Four options. We cannot make changes in any of the actions. Okay, we can see or make changes or edit any changes over here. Okay, in this drop down list by adding anything, because this is services, so you can add any services. Okay, in your machines, and accordingly you can see this list getting updated. But all the actions, these are default action. You cannot add any actions from your end. Okay, these are all automation anywhere inbuilt actions. You cannot add anything. If you want, you can add in other services, but with services you can only perform trigger point whenever any service starts, stops, pauses, resumes. So you cannot delete any service means action. You cannot add any service action over here. Okay, so by default for services action you can do it whenever you are selecting service type trigger. Okay, same for all windows and everything. You cannot edit anything in action. Okay. So for email messages, you can see whenever any email arrives, accordingly you need to set it all the email details over here, your port, your SMTP server name, everything over here, the username, password. Suppose if your email uses secure SSL connection, then you can save it. Means accordingly you can check it and save it. So right now I'm not able to save it because it will tell me that host name is invalid. Okay. So this is how we can set a trigger of a task file. So these two are very important property and which will be using it daily if you're working with automation anywhere task files, okay? Setting the scheduling, trigger point and everything. Okay, okay, okay. So yeah, I will just cover the properties of a task and then we can end today's section. Okay. So property. So we have covered schedule and trigger. So this is the property of a task file. Okay. Under property, yeah, actually, sharing of my email ID is not allowed actually. They have told me that I cannot share my email ID. But if you have any doubts, you can directly contact Asha24 with all your doubts. Definitely, they will forward me and I will answer all your queries. Okay. So don't worry about all your queries. So because we know, because whenever we are doing it practically, all the doubts come. So this looks easy, but when we do it practically, it's means small points we may be having doubt. It seems easy. It's not that difficult enough. But whenever we are doing practically, definitely doubt will arise. Even when I was learning, doubts were there. So there should be someone to help with those doubts. So if you have any doubts, you can directly approach me. You can approach me via Asha24, okay? Because I cannot share my email ID. So if you have any doubts, you can tell them. They will definitely forward me and I will answer all your queries. Okay? Okay. So I will just browse you through the properties, okay? So a task file, when you select it under property general, you can see the task file details. This is the file name created at. This is the status complete. So I had run this file once, right? In that schedule, I have set the schedule. I have run that schedule, right? So you can see the status is complete. So the last runtime was today's date 8:29. Okay, 8:29 a.m. early morning. So priority. So each and every task has three priority: high, low, medium. Okay, high, low, medium. Okay. So this is very important. If you want to, this is why this is important. So this is functional concept that you need to know. In automation anywhere, no two tasks run at same time. Okay. So there is a queue system in automation anywhere. So any priority, suppose say you are running a low priority task. Okay, and one high priority task comes into queue. So priority is given to high priority. Okay, so at that time what happens here, the low priority which is running will be stopped, means will be paused. Okay, it will be in queue and the high priority will be given preference first. Your high priority will run, and then when the task finishes, then the one which was in the queue, that is paused or in queue state, the low one will run. Okay, it's a queue system basically, and priority is done from here: high, low, medium. Okay, this is first means priority set, means we can say a indication level that you can set your task priority. Second indication level, you can set the speed. So okay, relay speed, replay speed, standard speed, high speed, turbo. So any task with say a high speed which has turbo action replay set, okay, fastest this precedence level. So we can say it, we can take this as a priority, means priority and precedence level. So this is your precedence level. Okay, yeah. So your speed is your precedence level. Okay. So anything, any task with high priority, then the next precedence level means next precedence level will run. Okay, so that is how automation anyway inbuilt calculates the means which task to run at one time and which task to run. Means since we are having a queue system, so inbuilt mechanism will first search for the queue system. It will check the priority and then it will check the precedence level. Because see, two tasks can have priority as high, right? I can create two tasks with high priority, but then automation anyway in that two tasks, in that two high tasks, automation anyway will first check whether this means a priority. So it will check that yes, both the tasks have high priority. Then it will check the precedence level. Okay. So whichever is the precedence level, this precedence will be given first response, means first priority response. I mean kind of preference. Second will be given this preference, and third will be given as standard preference. Okay, high with turbo action task will be executed first, and accordingly low means high priority with other means the precedence level will be preferred first. Okay, so this is how your task runs in this automation anywhere console. Okay, no two tasks run at the same time. One with high priority and then precedence level will execute. Okay, so this is a functional concept that you need to know. Means this is only when you do it practically you will come to know. Okay, so generally all the concepts are there, but all these functional part only when you do practically you will be it means you will be able to know what all these concepts are and why this priority and everything is there. Okay, so enable this task to run with other similar files or windows title. Okay, so I can so when I click this over here, so what this means. So basically, so right now you can see this notepad with means this window with untitled notepad. So tomorrow your window name may change. Okay, your window name may become anything, but the extension will remain same .txt, right? So at that time you can check this. So tomorrow there's a change in the window. So when you check this feature, so automatically your code will not stop, your code will not fail. So because you're clicking on this option, enable this task to run with other similar files or other window titles. Okay, yeah, okay. So yes, this also means that I have created a bot with say a text file with say abcs file name. Tomorrow I'm working with excel file with same abc, and I want my same task to run with excel file. So with similar window titles, okay, because the window titles are same abc, okay, it my task will run. Okay, but if you are making it, make sure that accordingly you handle, because see, whenever you're doing with txt file, accordingly you're means making the changes, right? If you're working with excel file, you are working with all the sheets, active sheets, workbook and everything. So accordingly your code should handle. Okay, so whenever you're checking this, just make sure that you're setting the code accordingly with an and accordingly the window titles means this feature work. In order to make this feature work, you need to make changes in your bots. Okay, in simple words. Okay, so your task will run whenever any window file, suppose say text, notepad, excel, word document, anything with same window title appears, your bot will run. Okay, so this is the general property. Here you can see I've not used any mouse click or keystroke, so that is why it says 00. If you are using any mouse click or keystrokes, automatically a number will appear. And here is a description, so it's like you can write anything. It's editable, so you can see I have typed in over here. It's editable field. Okay, description notes of the file. So basic general property of a file. Okay, so this is the next is the repeat option. So I want to repeat my task. Okay, so right now I've set to do not repeat. Suppose I want to repeat my task 5 times, so this task will repeat 5 times. It's very easy, you can see. Repeat until I stop. So that this task will run, and when this task will automatically a stop button will appear at right hand side, just like when we executed with your runtime window, right? So same way when if I select this option, a box will appear as stop. So whenever I stop it, automatically this will stop. Okay, repeat for time, like say hour, minute, second. So repeat for, and repeat options are there. Suppose if I want to means provide time between the repeats. So after 5 minutes, I want to repeat this task once again. Same way, I want to repeat the task when error continues. I need to go on with the next repeat. So if there's any error, if error has occurred with that task file, again I can suppose, yeah, I have met with the error at first repeat. So at second repeat it will continue even though the error has met with has occurred in first repeat. Okay, so this is a repeat option. Similarly, speed. Okay, I have checked it. See, it has by default selected do not repeat, and it has moved to next tab. So speed I have already shown you. So duration of the task run. So I've run this file in 7 seconds, just 7 seconds. Okay. So similarly, I can set the replay speed. Standard is the normal recorded which we use. Standard. We never go for high speed or turbo action. So this is not recommended though. But if you are running, you should, because sometimes issues do occur when we go with turbo or action replay. So generally, standard is recommended. Okay. Otherwise, high speed also you can opt for. But just make sure that you accordingly handle it in your bot. Okay. There should be no mouse moves. Okay. So no mouse moves or fastest turbo action replay. So when you do it practically, you will come to know what is difference. But three types of replay speed we can store it over here. Okay. For the task file. So notification. So notification tab is kind of email notification set whenever any task is executed and you want to send an email notification to the client or anyone that it has been completed. You can send it over here directly from here, or you can also use email automation command. Okay, so there are three ways we can do it. We can set your email notification from here directly. You can set the email address and email notification template or base template. Okay, so when I click it over here, automatically it will be reverted to the options, this option bar. And this bar can also be seen when we click on tools and options. Okay, tools and email notification option. Okay, or either you can directly do it from here. So both ways, from here or from tools, options, email notification. You can set the details over here from to CC BCC and click on OK. So since you're saving it over here, so you can set it from here also. And if you're using email automation command, so there, if you're using so multiple, see, I will tell you the difference between setting from here and setting from email automation command. So when we set it from here, it just can set it like one email address or two email address. Suppose you want to send mail to 100 contacts. So how you can do it? You cannot insert any Excel file reference over here, right? Excel file reference cannot be given from here. So if you're using email automation command in task editor, so at that time you can easily set a Excel, you can give a Excel file reference. Okay, your Excel file stores contact 100 contacts. So it becomes easy when you use email automation command. But just for say temporary fixed purpose, if you have 5 or 10 or just one email address automation, email person to notify, so you can set it from here as well. So it's your requirement, depends on the requirement. So whatever you think is feasible, you can do it. Okay. So one thing you can do it multiple ways. That is the benefit of automation anyway. Okay. So you can set it from here also. And also you can use email automation command. So for email automation command, we'll see it in our next class. Okay. So as of now, I'll just show you how we can means you can see the you can set the from to notifications CCC and BCC. Set a message over here. Okay. Click on OK. As of now, I'll just cancel it. Okay, and email settings. Here you need to enter your SMTP host name, SMTP server. Okay, all the details SMTP server. You can also for demo purpose, trial purpose, you can use your Gmail or Yahoo or any of the mail which you have already existing. You can get the host name, port name from Google also. You can check the Gmail's SMTP server from port, and accordingly you can save it over here and see whether your task is running or not. Okay. Send email notification. So when you click on check only at that time, yeah, I need to set my outgoing server. So I have not set anything. That is why it is showing me this. So no, as of now, I'm just showing you how we can set it. I don't have anything configured, so that is why I'm not able to show it. But this is how we can do it, okay? And just need to set it. Don't worry. In your if you're working in a project, so I think all these detail will already be saved or stored, okay? So if you're working with any high-end application, like say bank application, so you need not worry. Like you can get those settings already from anyone, which is or any other files which is there in the folder. You cannot do it by your own. But if you're working independently, like for simple small project or anything, then you can get the information, store it over here. Okay. So hotkey is kind of a shortcut key. So say for example, if I set my this task file to say control Windows L. Okay. So I've set this as control Windows L. So tomorrow, if I want to run the task, I need not open my automation anywhere, double click this file and run it. I will just press Control Windows L, a shortcut key, and automatically my task will run. Okay, it's a kind of a shortcut key or a hotkey. Okay, so a list of all these shortcut keys is given. You can select anyone. You cannot add anything from your end. This is the only thing that you cannot add anything. Whatever is given over here, you can select it. Whatever which is editable, I mean, sorry, enabled, you can select it from here. The one which is disabled, I think, was this one because I've already, I mean, used this. That is why it is disabled. So I cannot use it. I can edit it. Suppose I control Windows G and I save it. So accordingly, you can see you can make the changes over here. Okay, it's a shortcut key and very useful key if you want to run at your automation in a task at one go with just few clicks. You can use your hotkey. Then the last is a security key. Security, sorry. So this is very important because the question comes how much secure your automation anyway tasks are. Okay, so whenever you're running any task, just we have this feature in licensed version only. So that is why you can see this is disabled over here. So while running this task and while editing this task, prompt and verify for a password. Okay. So if this is enabled, definitely you will see the password and confirm password text box enabled. So this is disabled right now. This is there only in the licensed version. So mine is a trial version. Okay. So run this task in a stealth mode. So whenever this task will run, okay, whenever my task will run, this will run in stealth mode. So if it is running, okay, and if someone comes and does anything, automatically my screen will get locked. Okay, it will not allow anyone to do anything in my laptop or computer anywhere which wherein my task is running. Okay, the disable mouse and keyboard for the task. Okay. So same way, suppose if anything means if you want to disable any keyboard mouse, you can check this option. Okay. So just a quick overview. We have covered the demo and we have covered this property. Under property, we have seen all such general, repeat, speed, notification, hotkey, security property, and we have seen how to set a schedule and how to set a trigger property of a task files. Okay. So any doubts? We have covered the basic properties. Okay, basic means overview of how a client looks like. We can set us. We have seen property, schedule, and trigger of a task file. So tomorrow we will be browsing the all the things which are settings. Okay, settings which are present tools option settings of automation anywhere client. So this is very important right now because we first need to know the background and settings, and then we can jump on to developing the task files using those commands and everything. Okay, how to use those commands, because if you don't know the basic general settings of a client, it's not good, it's not recommended that you directly jump with the codes. First you need to know how, what are schedules, property, schedule, triggers of a task, how we can do a settings of our task files, and then we can move on with the high level or commands level. Okay, so we'll be ending the section over here. So I am closing today's section. So if you have any queries, do connect with Asha24. They will directly revert to me. Okay. Okay, great. Thanks everyone. Thanks for your time today. Okay.